Okay, this is the Common Council meeting to be held Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023 at 7 p.m. The meeting is called to order. Would you please call the roll?
Alderperson Juzwicki.
Present.
Alderperson Bailey.
Present.
Alderperson Kastner.
Present.
Alderperson Akers.
Present.
Alderperson Zarian.
Present.
Item B is opening prayer. We have Deacon Leggett here this evening. Let's make sure we're the
Good evening. Let us pause for prayer. Lord, eternal God, as we begin this meeting, we do so with the awareness that without your divine presence here at the center of this meeting, and also within ourselves, our work would be empty. Grace the members of this common council with your wisdom and vision as they seek to represent fairly and well all those who have given them this task. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this most beautiful fall day and ask for your blessings on all of us. We also pray for our citizens, our firefighters, our police, and for our children who have returned to school. And lastly, dear Lord, we continue to pray for world peace. All glory be to you, loving God, as we await your new day tomorrow. Amen.
Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving along, I'd entertain a motion to approve the September 19th Common Council minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Alderperson Bailey. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Juzwicki. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Under item E, Mayor's Report. This evening I have just a couple of things. The very first thing is that Sheila O'Brien, our library director, will be retiring effective this Friday. She's been with us for a very long time, 18 years, I think. She was probably one of the first hires back then for me. She helped guide the city to a new library, one which is very beautiful and very well respected. The city will certainly miss her. I'm pleased to welcome a new library director. I think she started this week, but will be in place on Monday, next Monday, Jennifer. She comes from Heartland. I met with her recently. I think she's going to do a wonderful job, carrying the torch to make our library as good as it is. Secondly, I want to say that I was in West Dallas over the weekend. They had their car show on Greenfield Avenue. If you've never done it before, they shut down Greenfield Avenue between 70th and 76th Street. All the car clubs get in, and it was just a really wonderful event. It seemed like a really busy show. There were 450 cars there, and they limit it to 450 cars, I think, plus or minus. And our show this year was 430 to 450, so that was a great show. Ours was a great show, but I want to congratulate West Dallas. They really do a great job with that. I think Carl's dad was part of that, the car club.
West Dallas Auto Club, we started back as a nonprofit kind of organization.
And the auto club is still around because I saw a bunch of people there that were talking about it and all the woodworking tools and all that stuff. The Brewers are up 3-0 for anybody watching at home. Tyrone Taylor hit a home run, 403 feet. What else? There was something else. I'll come back to it. Aldermanic reports. Fall Fest is this weekend at Conkle Park. It's the last major event at Conkle Park for the year. Encourage you all to visit our website and see what's going on there with regard to that. Farmers Market still has a couple more weekends through October on Sundays. Encourage you to go to that as well.
Trick-or-treating is the 29th, right?
The what?
Trick-or-treat.
Trick-or-treating, I believe, is the 29th on a Sunday.
Is it
between...
Is it 1 to 4 or 4 to 7?
We did it 4 to 7, I think,
Okay.
right? 4 to 7. I think it's 4 to 7.
Okay.
Check the website, it should be on there.
I have.
Aldermanic reports?
Yeah, I went today to the open house at Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin, 7210 West Edgerton Avenue in Greenfield. They are encouraging the community to support their life-saving mission by donating blood platelets or plasma. The blood collected here at Versity supports 56 hospitals across the state of Wisconsin.
Great, thank you. Anybody else have anything? Trey reports? Announcements? Citizen commentary? Doesn't look like there is anybody. There is absolutely nobody here this evening. For those people watching at home. Old business, I don't have any appointments tonight. Item J under new business, 1, a claim received from Gallagher Bassett Services for Old Republic Insurance Company on behalf of First Student was referred to our city attorney. Item 2 is approve applications for 2023, 2024 operator licenses. I'd entertain a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Alderperson Akers, second
Second.
by Alderperson Driswicky. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. I'd entertain a motion to approve items 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are applications for temporary Class B beer, and in one case, Class B wine retailer licenses received from the Greenfield Education Foundation. The rest are for temporary Class B retailer licenses received from the Harley's owner group. And all of those events, I
Indoor.
believe, are indoors, right?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion by Alderperson Akers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Driswicky, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
I was informed this week that New Berlin stops its outdoor entertainment at 9, which actually New Berlin didn't follow, but that's what their new rule is. Maybe we should check into that.
Okay, we can look, we can look, just can you put that in the minutes? So I don't forget. There's been a lot of controversy with our neighbors to the south with regard to the entertainment district in Franklin, and there's a bunch of chaos flowing from that right now. It's been reported that, the neighbors that are reporting the sounds and the inconvenience and the noise are terrorists and stuff, and that they should, but I don't know, right? So
I doubt that they are. I think they're just frustrated.
it seems like there should be, so they don't have the oversight sort of that we do. I think
think-
a couple of years ago, so when you fire fireworks here, you need a permit, right? And if Greenfield decided not to have fireworks one night, and the House of Harley said, well, we're just gonna have fireworks tonight, and we're gonna blow off a big show, you can't really do that, right?
You would think not.
But I think maybe some in that city have done things like that, and I think that's been frustrating as well,
And I
but
think
I don't
too,
know.
part of the problem is that a lot of the neighbors affected don't live in Franklin, they live in Greendale.
Yeah, agreed, and it's right down the hill, right?
And that's was at least a very richy area of Greendale, being adjacent to Whitnall Park right there. And
So I think Alderperson Kastner's point is well received.
We should at least look into what other
Right,
communities are doing.
currently 10 o'clock, and there's exceptions, I think, with Jansen Fest at 11 when they have to close down, right? That's,
Mine was referencing to a neighborhood bar. 9 o'clock shutdown. In a different
closing
city.
the bar?
Outside entertainment at 9 o'clock.
Okay,
That's what I was told, and it's worth looking into.
yeah, okay. I wasn't sure, all right.
Yeah,
I'll
so
look at it.
the entertainment outside would have to end at 9 o'clock is what I was told, which I thought was pretty amazing for New Berlin to do that. Seemed early, but,
So if you talk to most bar owners these days, the bars are closed at 9 and 10?
yeah, I know.
So it's different than it used to be. I don't know, when I was in high school, bars, Friday and Saturday night, it was 2:30 bar time, and
they didn't warm up until 10 p.m. at least.
you didn't go out until 10 p.m., right? So that world has sort of changed.
Well, we all stopped going out, that's why.
We all stopped going out, and
We're in bed before 10 now.
kind of, right? Yeah. So we can look at that. We can review that stuff. Item 9 is a discussion and decision to approve an amended agreement between the City of Greenfield and the City of West Allis. They put the wrong chart in. They forgot to put the administrative overhead costs, which cover the director and stuff, in the hourly rates. That was always the intention. It was just the wrong, if it makes you feel better, West Allis provided the wrong agreement to themselves too, because.
I'll make a
Sorry.
motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Alderperson Akers, or second?
Second.
Alderperson Kastner. The rates are still incredibly reasonable for the services that are being provided. Would you please call?
Alderperson Juzwicki,
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey,
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner,
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Item 10 is approve an agreement with Frost Solutions for a 1-year rental of 2 weather stations with pavement temperature sensors. I don't know, did you just go through this at Board of Public Works?
No.
No, it came right to council. So this was, they are specifically designed to help Public Works monitor the streets so they're able to react to the snowstorms, ice, that sort of thing. Measures the temperature, it's got cameras in there so they can see from their phone what it's like on both sides of the city as well as when they're at DPW.
Can I ask where they're gonna put locate them?
Not sure exactly. We're going to try to kind of center it so that we pick up the west part of the city and the east part when DPW is kind of in the middle. Because that's the thing, the city's so long from east to west that the weather can be different from one end to the other. So this is a 1-year trial of this system.
We've been looking at this for quite some time, and the prices are actually starting to come down a little bit
Yeah,
too.
yep.
So
That's the only thing that prices are coming down in, right?
well, I mean, so,
Kinda do
I mean,
that
it's kind of like
nature,
big screen TVs, I guess, I don't know, but it's more cost effective to get these things in the pavement. Some communities, this is like the standard of care now in some communities where these sensors are in many streets. So you know what the temperature is, you know when it's best to apply the salt. And last year during the winter, I mean, there were blizzards on the west side of town, and there was nothing on the east side of town.
It's been vice versa, yeah, it just
And
depends.
in this summer, there was a hailstorm east of basically Loomis, somewhere in there, that just shredded some roofs, right? And it was sunny on the west side of town. There wasn't, so I think this is a good thing, right?
Yeah, it is a good thing.
Are we
It's designed to
sharing,
be more,
are we sharing this kind of information with other communities?
So how it works is with this particular company, when you have one or more of these weather stations, you get to benefit from any surrounding communities. You get to see theirs too. And Milwaukee has some too. So we'll actually not only have the ability to look at these two, but other surrounding communities.
Okay.
So, and they can see it from their computer, they can see it from their phone, they can see it from, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and it starts to snow, they can get an alert on their phone, so.
I mean,
It's
is
a
it gonna
good
be
thing.
placed in a road? I'm wondering with
They're in
this
the road.
camera, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, it's above the street and it's pointed down toward the pavement, so.
So it can be at any street, it's not like it has to be like at DPW or the, you
No,
know?
it can be anywhere, it can be mounted on a street light pole.
they're mounted, they're not.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious how they,
Yeah,
if we
So
had
in
to
the old
have it
day, they
on
were
city
actually placing
property.
sensors into the street, but now I think they do it by,
yeah, now they measure by projecting down onto the street.
Yeah, they do the scan, okay. Yeah, that makes
like
sense.
Jeff, the
infrared.
radius on these units roughly, do you think we could need 3 instead of 2, depending on, the width? Like one would actually be at, 51st Street here?
So we talked about it, and we think we want to try the 2, and then take advantage of the cameras in the surrounding area, and then see how that works.
Does anybody besides Milwaukee have them around us?
I think maybe I don't think New Berlin does. I think maybe Franklin does, but which would help us. But west is better. If we could get if someone
Greenville to get some,
if communities to the west of us, because the weather seems to go in general from west to east usually.
okay, the motion was made and seconded, right, or not?
Nope.
I'll
Can you-
make a motion to
By
approve.
Akers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Juzwicki, could you call?
Alderperson Juzwicki,
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey,
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner,
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
I take 11 and 12 together. These are the schedule, the approval of disbursements and the financial statements. Entertain a motion to approve 11 and 12.
I move for approval.
Motion by Alderperson Sarian. Is there a second? Second by Alderperson Bailey. Would you call?
Alderperson Juzwicki,
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey,
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner,
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
The next item for future agendas is at finance. So we didn't have one last week, and there were only 2 items, so it didn't make much sense. But the next finance meeting, there's a couple ways to do this. Do you want the department heads to come in and discuss their budgets and what they're doing? Or do you want to each individually, and you can do both, individually meet with departments that you may have questions about with regard to the budget? I can tell you, with regard to the budget, almost everything is the same as it was last year. It's essentially flat, other than wages, insurance, and the capital equipment and the road project stuff, right? There were some changes, like with regard to code enforcement that we talked about, shifting those responsibilities over to the PD. We're working through all of those things now to do that. But there aren't a lot of significant changes within the budget. But I would encourage you all, I know Alderperson Driswicki is kind of new at this, right? I'd encourage you to sit down. Historically, like 10 years ago or 12 years ago, some of the alderpersons always thought I was trying to do something or write something. It's like, I'm not trying, I don't have to be there. I would rather have you guys have the ability to ask any question you want. If anything is unfair or they want, right? I'd encourage that. Because I try to be as transparent about all of this as possible. So do you want the department heads to come? It's up to you. I mean, for the most part, most of you have been through this process quite often.
Well, if you
And I
present a
think
budget
throughout the
that-
entire year, you know what's going on and you know what the
And
initiative.
innovated with your budget, we might have a reason to.
I know, I was gonna say, he
Yeah, I
presents a
mean-
boring budget, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a relatively boring budget this year, and it's, this is the first year that I'm saying the sky's not falling. That's in part because of shared revenue. I thought it didn't kick in until 2024. That was the original, or 25. That was the original guidance, but it's actually 2 payments are gonna be made next year.
Sure.
So it's up to you.
I got nothing.
It's up, I think, Alderperson Bailey at one point, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, said, I'd like to know what they're doing, I'd like to see some numbers, how many calls are they actually, that kind of stuff.
Right, what I remember discussing is maybe like around the first of the year, State of the Union, and I just gonna throw this out just because I was talking to you about it, it sort of ties in what you're saying now, and have all the department heads, 1 or 2 meetings, the first couple meetings in January, have all the department heads come and say, okay, this is what we accomplished in 2023, and this is what we're looking forward to in 2024. We're hiring 3 new people, dispatchers, if it's the police department or if it's the health department, and just give us a little State of the Union. So I sort of was considering asking you and the other council members to maybe consider that in January, that each department head at that time would come to us, because I don't know much about the library board. And maybe that's on me, but maybe that lady, the new director, could fill us in.
Right.
Did they hire anybody new? And then do whatever, give us what happened last year, what happened in the future. That's what I was just thinking about.
I think that's probably a good idea. This year during the budget, it's my intent to put together a PowerPoint to try to explain how it works a little bit. For most of us, we understand it now, but for the public and even some of the folks that work here, it's like what do you mean you can't just do this? And because we're restricted, and we managed to get through it. Sometimes it seems seamlessly, but it's not seamlessly. It's like, it takes a lot of effort to get it to the point where it works, right?
Okay,
And
my home budget's the same way.
Mine too, trust me. There was something else I wanted to say. Thoughts and prayers, we know about our city forester has gone through some health issues, and I don't know if I remember talking about this at the last common council meeting. I won't get into the specifics. They're pretty serious. And, you know, I would ask us all to pray for, you know, I probably should ask, he's probably got more sway than I do.
I
but-
think you hit on him here as one of the employees, so yeah.
But, I mean, Dennis isn't feeling so good lately, and.
I have a brother that has connections.
Has what?
Connections.
Yeah, well, yeah, your brother's a pastor. I used to throw snowballs at him too when I was little. Remember?
Yeah. He remembers.
He ran faster. You were an easier target.
I was shorter.
You were, in the snow, you got stuck, you know, sorry. So, I mean, thoughts go out to Dennis, right? So, I know there's something.
So did we want the department heads to come?
In January.
I don't,
No,
it sounded like,
Oh,
you want it
that's-
like at the beginning of the year in January? Do you get them in and say, you know, this is,
I would like it.
Yeah.
And they can cover their budget at that time.
How does Andrew feel about it?
I
Say what?
mean, given that this is, you know, I read previous budgets because Mike was nice enough to share those with me, but generally, I mean, the way that I do it at work is we'd hear something earlier in the year, right, after, when the year starts, right? And then we typically have a second review, probably the last quarter, if you will, which would have been right about now. So it's a question of whether or not we need to go that far
so this is the thing.
for looking at the budget.
So there are, each and every department through BSNER software financial reporting package, you can get updates monthly about where we are in the budget and where the numbers are. Unfortunately, sometimes those are just snapshots, right? And that invoice hasn't come in yet, and that hasn't happened yet, and the reason that one's down is because we're delaying the hiring of somebody. If you guys want to get into the weeds with,
Right, it's not so much the weeds, I think for me at least is to get the larger picture items in a row saying that in regard, you know, in regards to any of the departments, where are the big needs, where are the things that we haven't been able to accomplish, let's say the last 5 and 10 years, and what are we doing now to actually plan for these things in the future as we go along?
I think that would go well with what
And
Alderman
whether or
Bailey
not
was
that's-
saying, yeah,
that's-
where we can
that's
get a
fair to all
picture
of you
and.
that you want to at least have that,
sure,
but.
yeah. It's pretty simple, right?
Everybody wants more people, everybody wants more money.
That's sometimes that's the difficulty, right? Because the resources are strained. I mean, the clerk's office next year is a presidential election,
And so
and she will be inundated with open records requests and
Should we do
lawsuits
something
and
for cloning?
claims
You know,
and,
I'll get my coworkers at UWM to work on cloning, okay?
on what?
Cloning.
Zoning?
Cloning.
Cloning? Don't do cloning.
We'll have two
But-
Jennifers then. Woo-hoo.
No, I mean, I want to just say that even during the reassessment process, right? That's a complicated process that has taken an inordinate amount of their time and the assessors and finance department's time, right? And the volunteers that sit on the board, right? And that's gruesome, and that's not a pleasant experience. It's happening in West Dallas too, I think, and other places.
We gotta keep in mind that everything is so fluid and so changing that we really could
So
be
thi-
altogether
so this
wrong
is-
in a month.
This is one thing that I kind of want to say out loud, right? I still think that residential home prices are in a bubble of sorts, and I still think that they're going to come down. And that's why we delayed the reassessment as long as we could, because we thought COVID, right? Everybody's sitting at home, everybody's got cheap money, everybody's, you know, cloistering in their, right? And then interest rates shot up to historical rate, right? And then nobody wanted to sell their homes, and the homes, there was such a short supply, people were holding on to them, and they were worth more. And then there was a group of buyers, because there wasn't the supply, that would pay anything essentially not to rent.
Well,
right?
and also the building market went down because supply wasn't there for their parts.
And all of that stuff too, right? So,
Well, I'm mad at the people that sold their houses that put the extra 50 to 100 grand into them before they sold it, so the selling price then became higher before they sold it rather than after they sold it, so your comparables are now higher than they were before.
that too.
And comps are reflective as a result of someone doing that to begin with, so.
Yeah, no, it's, but the other part of this is that it costs $250,000 to do a reassessment. But I want to just make it clear to everybody that's sitting here, right, that if home prices drop in a
We're gonna work
year
on
or
that,
2
too.
years precipitously, that it would be in our best interest to do a reassessment.
Irregardless of whether the state forces or mandates to do it, because the,
Well, we went through this in 2007 and 8 because there was a segment of the assessed properties, the condominiums, that had basically doubled and tripled in value and then dropped by half or 2/3, right? So those were reanalyzed. And the other thing to do is we can reassess every year.
Which I don't think is,
But, yeah,
But if home prices keep going up, then taxes are going to continue to rise and the burden of the tax payments are going to shift even further to the residents.
I think we just need to wait and see what happens with the housing market and
So, I wish I knew how to do that better, but I'm not sure there was.
it's nothing we did.
So anyways, with that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
By Akers, second by Bailey, all in favor.